Today's lesson is going to be a continuation of last week's English lesson, or last week's poetry lesson. We're going to write another poem. It's going to be another slightly silly, funny thing. Should be quite good fun. Now, it's an alphabet poem. It says so in the title. That means it's going to need a line for every letter of the alphabet. That's 26 lines, which is quite a long poem. Now, some of you might be happy to do all 26 lines. Some of you might want to pick part of the alphabet to work on, maybe, I don't know, 10 letters or 5 letters or something. I want you to spend a good hour or so on this. Think about how long you spend on a normal English lesson. If you can do the whole thing, brilliant. If not, do what you can. So, to do this, we're going to need to list nouns, add some weird adjectives, add some contrasting adverbs, and try adverbial or prepositional phrases. Okay. It's another Pi-Corbett idea. So, you start by using a dictionary, and you use a dictionary to list some words. Now, when I first did this, I just put the first words that came into my head. It's actually better, I think, if you find objects that can't do very much, because what we're going to start to do is get them to do things that they shouldn't do, describe them in ways that doesn't make sense. I started off using words like dog, which was a good, easy word to use, but dogs can do an awful lot of things, and it was actually quite hard to find something that didn't fit, that sounded silly and out of the ordinary, and that's what we're after. So, if we look at Pi-Corbett's examples, he's made a list of words. He's used ape, bear, custard, and door. Those are his nouns. I decided to use dessert with 2 S's. It's the pudding, not the place full of sand. Egg, flip-flop, the shoe, and garden. I'm going to be working on D, E, F and G. He's done examples for A, B, C and a different version of D. So, you write out your list of words. That might be all 26 letters of the alphabet, that might just be a subset of them. Then you need to give them an adjective. I'll stay in red pen because we tend to use red for adjectives. So I need to think about them. Oh, a dessert. A dessert's a pudding. I could describe it as pink, tasty, but those things are all normal. We want something a bit more out of the ordinary. Well, a pudding's very rarely evil, so I'm going to describe mine as evil. My egg is going to be energetic. The flip-flop really should be something like, I don't know, comfortable or pretty, but I'm going to go for excitable. And my garden, I'm going to have a shy garden. So, I've done the beginning of this poem. Evil dessert, energetic egg, excitable flip-flop and shy garden. Now all I need to do is add some determinants on the beginning just so they make sense. So I'm going to have the evil dessert, my energetic egg, her excitable flip-flop, and our shy garden. Now, that could be the stop point, and I think perhaps if you were younger that might be a good stopping point. That could just be a funny poem of things described in ways that they shouldn't be described. However, we can build on that and paste it in there. So I've got the beginning of my poem now. The evil dessert, my energetic egg, her excitable flip-flop, and our shy garden. Now the next thing we can do is give it a verb. They need to do something. That's the minimum we need to actually turn it into a sentence. Now, I'm going to use green because we tend to use green for verb. You can just write this in normal writing, or you can underline it in colours or use a coloured pencil if you'd like to. So, my evil dessert has got to do something, preferably something that a dessert wouldn't do. which is easy to do because I've chosen a dessert and they don't do much. They just generally sit around and get eaten. So, well, they're quite slow. I'm going to make mine run. I'm going to make mine dash. I'm going to make mine speed, or to keep it in past tense, sped. My egg. Again, eggs just sit there, so I want mine to kind of appear somewhere to burst into the room. I'm going to put burst. Not meaning burst as in to explode, but to burst as in to come into something. This flip-flop, it's going to climb, so keeping in past tense. Climbed. I think my garden's going to sing. Or sang. This is past tense. So that's given me verbs. And these are now, strictly speaking, sentences. I could give them full stops, call that the end of this piece of work, but I'm not going to. I want to make this a bit more interesting. I'm going to add an adverb onto this. So how is the verb being done? How is my dessert speeding? How is my egg bursting? I'm going to use pink for that, if pink's an option. Well, pinky purple, that will do. Okay. Well, if you speed, you do it quite quickly, so let's put rapidly. The egg bursts. Well, that's quite a dramatic thing to do. Dramatically. I think I'm going to use an adverbial phrase instead of an adverb for the flip-flop. So instead of just saying if climbed quickly, I'm going to put as fast as possible. My garden's just going to sing beautifully. Okay, so I've now got the evil dessert sped rapidly. My energetic egg burst dramatically. Her excitable flip-flop climbed as fast as possible. Our shy garden sang beautifully. And again, I could pop a full stop on the end of each of those and call it quits. But I'm going to have a go at one last thing, one last good solid year 4 type of grammar. So the last thing I'm going to do is add prepositional phrases on the end. I'd ideally like a brown. Do I have a brown? That's about there somewhere. Okay. Well, I now need to think where or when did this happen. And the evil dessert sped rapidly, but where was it going? Perhaps it's escaping. Let's have towards, and this is a phrase, not just a preposition on its own, the door. The egg burst dramatically into my room. The excitable flip-flop climbed as fast as possible out of the window. And my shy garden, where could it sing? On stage. Now, I can put punctuation on the end of those now. Full stop, full stop, full stop, and full stop. And I've got 4 lines of my poem. The evil dessert sped rapidly towards the door. My energetic egg burst dramatically into my room. Her excitable flip-flop climbed as fast as possible out of the window. Our shy garden sang beautifully on the stage. So, that's what I need you to do. Colours are optional, you can just do it in normal pencil. And like I said, if we're going to write the full poem, it's going to be all 26 letters in order, and that would be brilliant. But that's also an awful lot of work, and different people write at different speeds. So I should think as long as you've done at least 4 or 5, that's not bad for a start for a poem. I'd like a lot of you to do about 10, and it'd be really nice if some of you could write an entire alphabet poem. As always, any questions, just give us a shout on Edmodo.